start the recording.
Okay, great.
Okay, Eric, you're here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
That's good. Okay,
Okay,
all right.
Good. Good.
Okay, super. So I'm just gonna call to order the nominations committee meeting and turn it over to staff to do the roll call and give the commentary about our public meeting.
Great. So before roll call, Trevor's going to do the housekeeping today. And Trevor, do you want to introduce yourself? Everybody.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you. I'm Trevor Desane. I started a few weeks ago in Office of Access and Inclusion as a senior program analyst. I'm really happy to meet you.
Welcome.
Nice
Thanks.
to meet you. Welcome aboard.
So, Dewan, I'll read the welcome comments basically and the Zoom details.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome committee members, liaisons, and members of the public to the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission's nomination committee. Thank you for joining us. We will begin at 11 o'clock, which it's 11:02 now, so we're beginning. We are using Zoom with the goal to foster a more inclusive environment and effective meeting. If you'd like to comment during the meeting, please use the raised hand feature. To use the raised hand feature by phone, dial *9 on your phone's dial pad to raise your hand, and the same to lower your hand. Please utilize this tool to virtually indicate that you would like to speak in order to help the chair facilitate the discussion. New going forward, all Legal Services Trust Fund Commission and committee meetings will be recorded and posted to the State Bar website. A friendly reminder that this is a video conference and to please be aware of your surroundings behind you. And just a few troubleshooting tech type things that I'll talk about now. For those using Zoom on a computer, when on mute, holding down the spacebar will temporarily unmute. If you are using your phone to dial into this meeting, please make sure that your phone's computer microphone is on mute to avoid audio feedback issues. And finally, while joining audio via computer is highly recommended, if an individual loses audio, they can call in separately using the Zoom conference number.
Okay, great. So I'll take roll now. And I don't know if everybody got my email. So our committee used to be four commissioners. It's down to 3 now because Pamela, who's, as you all know, is applying to be on the Trust Fund Commission again. Because of a conflict issue, she's decided to step down from this committee. So it's just Kim, Chris, and Eric. So let me do a roll call really quick. Savage?
Here.
Iskin?
Here.
Shriver? We have quorum. Let me do liaisons. I don't see Bonnie.
It's just Zach Newman.
Zach, are you participating on behalf of LAC today?
Hi, Dwan. I think Selena will be joining at 11:30, but so I'll be participating on her behalf until then.
Okay, great. And the State Bar staff, I don't see Brady, but I wanted to introduce you to Shannon Crossley. Shannon's also a new staff member in our office. She's a program coordinator, so she's going to be helping with the operations and meeting support. So Shannon, Kim, and I, you'll see more emails of in order to kind of like coordinate the meetings and catering and your RSVPs, and she's going to be helping out with nominations committee a lot, especially with scheduling, since that's kind of the next big thing that we need to do, and it seems like we're going to have a lot of interviews to schedule. So you'll see emails from Shannon. So Shannon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Eric.
I'm sorry to interrupt everybody. I may have to kind of cut out and talk to the guys that are here that are servicing my internet, which is down. I'm going to try to go on mute, but if you hear a bunch of noise and conversation, let me know and I'll shut up and go in the other room.
Okay.
Something.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, Shannon, hi, welcome. And thanks in advance for all the scheduling that's going to have to take place.
Of course.
Give us a little intro. Tell us a little something that you want to share.
Hi all, I'm super excited to be here. I just started with the Office of Access and Inclusion last week, but I have been working with the State Bar since around November 2019. I was in the State Bar Court, and then last week I transitioned to this office. So hello everybody.
Nice to have you.
So Shannon and Kim and I have been coordinating a lot because, as you all know, the Bagley-Keene requirements are back in full force. And so, like, Kim is in the office, the State Bar office today. We're actually not all there. Trevor's in the office. So there's just been a lot of coordination. But the State Bar, we're going back into the office next week for 2 days a week. So as we transition back and people will be in person, I think we'll have more opportunities to kind of interact.
Great.
Okay, so hand it back over to you to talk about our only agenda item today.
Okay, first, are there any public comments? Anybody on the line? Or,
I don't see any members of the public.
okay, super. Okay, so our sole agenda item for the meeting today is to review the candidate applications for the Trust Fund Commission appointments, identify who we want to interview, and then Dwan is going to let us know the blocks of times and dates when the interviews will likely be scheduled by staff.
And I can give a summary, Kim, of like how many
Sure.
applications and all that. So as you all know, there's 21 applications. Christina Vanarelli was the late application that came in. So that brings our commissioners that are reapplying to 5. So 21, including Christina. There are 7 applications that are client eligible. And I think there were 2 applicants that still haven't gotten back to us. So we don't know if they're client eligible or not. So at least 7. Between the 3 of you all, there are now 9 people you want to interview. But one pending question is the 5 commissioners that are reapplying for appointment. Do you want to interview them as well? So if you interview all of them, that will bring us up to 14. We only have 3 spots, and one of them needs to be client eligible.
I do not want to interview current commissioners, personally.
Okay.
My view on this is that we should, at the very least, interview candidates where 2 of us who have identified an interest in viewing them. And then if Eric and Christian feel that they want to interview additional people where there weren't basically 2 people having an interest, we should go ahead and do that. And to me, that rule would apply to current commissioners.
That's fine. I'm good with that, Kim. Sorry.
Okay, that's super. But so that if there's a current commissioner who's applying that we're interested in, then we should interview them.
So according to your rule, then
Proposed rule.
The proposed rule, those 9 interviewers would drop. There's 6 that there's more than one. So there are
Correct.
3 that both Chris and Eric each picked.
Mhm.
So I don't know, should we talk about those 3 first and then talk about the commissioners? Because nobody selected a current commissioner.
Right.
You know, Dwan, I'm actually, if there were 3 that I picked that no one else wants to interview, I'm happy to withdraw those. I don't feel strongly about
Of those 3, only one, Danielle Glazer, and then the other 2 was Chris, Jay Chen, and Paolo Ramos.
I am fine with interviewing if one person supported that, if they strongly feel that way. I tend to feel otherwise, but I'm happy to do that as a courtesy.
Is Brady going to be on this
He's
call?
supposed to. Let me text him.
I cannot understand how this is a Bagley-Keene.
Thank you.
This is crazy to me.
Oh, we don't have to interview. When we actually interview, we don't. It's not Bagley-Keene.
How is this part of Bagley?
This part, yeah.
I do think that's something to take a deeper look at. I think it makes it challenging.
I mean, I'll say for the record, for the recording, for posterity, that it was great. Like, I was shocked at the quality of the candidates. I was shocked at the number of the candidates. I was like so pleasantly surprised. It was so positive and high level. We are 100% not interviewing, candidates who in years past, I think would have been amazing additions to the commission. And so this is just a numbers thing as much as anything, with various, limits on what we can actually add to the commission. But I still think like this process to me is mistakenly, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And, I just text Brady, so hopefully he'll join, but I think what he would say is because you formally formed a committee, we're subject to Bagley-Keene. The way the board does it is they have liaisons, so they're not subject to Bagley-Keene for the liaisons on the nominations. They don't have a nominations committee. They have liaisons that review the applications. So it's like a working group, or what you want to say. It's a little bit structured, a little bit different, but you structured as a committee. And so then with the formal committee, it's subject to Bagley-Keene.
So in the future, we could approach this in the way that the Board of Trustees does? That's probably, yeah.
I think so. If it's like, nominations liaisons, it's not a committee.
Yeah, okay. So I think one of the things that's not on this chart that I think might be of interest is whether any of those folks that we're planning on interviewing are also applying for other spots.
Oh, okay. We can
I think
add.
that would be, or that, like, I had some understanding that Erica Conley might be reappointed through a different process.
Well, there's one state bar position. And again, I'm going to be working with the board liaisons. Like I'll have a recommendation. I don't know if they'll go with my recommendation, but when I reviewed it, my recommendation was going to be Erica Connolly would take that spot.
Okay. All right. I mean, I was assuming that.
Well, so two things about that though. First is, yeah, I think it's useful for us to know whether there's a path to the commission through a different avenue than, and I think that was Kim's point.
Yes.
But the secondary part of that is on the application, many of the candidates checked boxes indicating all of the positions to which their application was going to apply. And I think that's useful because the range of work is quite broad. And so I considered that.
Okay, so we can add a column because some of them have checked a variety of kind of sub entities that they want to volunteer for. Is that what you're talking about? Other ones that they're applying to volunteer for? Yeah. Well, that's easy enough to do. And then the only other path is that state bar appointment, the one that's Erica Connolly, because judicial council is they haven't officially voted yet, but Kim and Rich already presented a memo and recommendations to them. So
but there's also a legislative path. And
there's and we don't have visibility into like who's applying over there and how it's being done.
That's true, but we discussed at the last commission meeting that we were going to share names as well. So, yeah.
I think we could certainly do that. I think we could certainly, maybe not wait for the dialogue, but to just let the legislature know that we have reviewed these individuals and we think they would be really, really good appointments.
I don't know how others feel about this, but I did not find particularly useful or accurate the column identifying the substantive area of expertise.
Right.
And I don't know if others felt similarly, but those categories were liberally construed in some instances.
Should we remove that column if it's not helpful?
I didn't think, I think you have to read the application and decide where you believe their expertise is. Some people who have worked for legal services organizations, for example, have a background in legal services organizations. That's a different background than a commissioner who has worked on the commission. I, for example, would have been qualified under legal services, even though I think that is not accurate because I have not worked in legal services background. So
okay, well, if it's not useful, we'll just take it out. And that's just a working document for
Understood.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Christian. I think it really takes a closer look at what they're saying. It's hard to categorize. You know, they may have done pro bono work for a legal aid for a month, and they put it down,
Yeah.
which it's fine. But
No, totally. It's just, it's overly broad, that's all.
yeah. Okay.
Well, should we go
So,
back to the three that were, that Eric and Chris suggested that? I think I
Eric, if I
heard
could
Eric
comment
say that. Eric, did you said you didn't feel strongly about the one Danielle Glazer?
You know, actually, it's funny because of all the ones, she's one of them that I actually remember. I don't have access to the internet, so I can't remind myself of these resumes. And I agree with Chris that many of them were quite impressive. And I was also pleasantly surprised at the quality that we received. I thought Danielle was strong. I mean, she's a kind of straight up traditional attorney, I think, but I thought she had a really good, interesting background. So I don't know. I mean, if people really don't want to interview her, I'm not going to pound the table on it, but I don't know, I thought she was worth talking to.
Chris, Kim, do you want to leave her in or?
I'm trying to pull it up.
yeah, I have notes. I mean, I think given our goals that we talk about on the commission of having a broad spectrum of commissioners in terms of background and also geographic location. You know, that's what I'm really focusing on when I chose the three that I chose. But I also agree with Christian. There's a lot of really qualified people. I think you know, we could start by interviewing where we've got overlap, and that gives us either 6 people or 7 if we include Christina.
It's 6, and then 7 if you want to include Christina. So are we,
Yeah.
sorry, so just to go back, so are we not doing Danielle right now or no? You want to do like a
Well,
second?
and what I'm getting to is that we could start by doing the 7 where we have an overlap of, you know, we have more than one, and then I think decide after that whether we want to interview any additional person.
You know, let me just amend what I said. I mean, if we actually have 7 where more than one of us want to interview and we only really have 1 slot, let's just interview those. And don't worry about Danielle.
Okay. How
So
about
Eric, we do have 2, I mean, we essentially have 2 slots. We have a public member and then we have, I'm sorry, a client eligible member. And then we have just a regular, you know, attorney or non-attorney member. So it is 2.
You have two non-client eligible and 1 client eligible. We have 3 total.
Right.
I'd be shocked if we can't find 2 out of the 7. So
Okay.
let's just go with the 7.
Okay.
Are you okay with that, Chris? You're 2 to take them off the list? Okay, so let me remove them right now. Okay, and then from the commissioners, there are 5. It's Catherine, Erica, Pamela, Rich, and Christina. Kim, did you say you wanted to interview Christina, right? Because she's moving into
Yes.
officer position.
I think she's a necessary candidate for reappointment. I don't see that any other current commissioners have been flagged as people we want to interview. So I don't see interviewing them again since no one has flagged them, but I do think Christina's, you know, kind of a necessary reappointment.
So your pick is, of the 5, just Christina. How about you, Chris and Eric?
What is the specific question, Juan? It's
Of the commissioners, are there any that you want to re-interview? Kim said to interview Christina because
yeah.
she's in the officer position.
I mean, I guess yeah, I'm ambivalent. I feel like we know them, we have a written application, we've spoken to them. It probably wouldn't hurt to speak to them again. So I'm fine if from an equity perspective, like that puts them into the mix. And maybe that's probably the better practice, is to speak to them for 15 minutes each, or whatever the length is of the interviews. So it's just our familiarity with them is already quite high. So, but I'm happy to go along here, and it's probably better that we do.
Eric, how about you? Well, he might have stepped away.
So
I've been kind of distracted here, so I'm sorry, Duan.
Of the
are people
commissioners, the
deciding
5 that are reapplying, Kim wants to interview Christina because she's moving to the officer position. Chris said he's ambivalent. Where do you stand?
I am ambivalent. I don't need to interview her, but if you want to interview her, we can. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, what about the other commissioners that are reapplying?
Well, yeah, I don't like Pam. I know was one. I didn't really need to interview her. Rich, I don't need to interview. I mean, I'm sorry, who are the other?
It's
Erica Connolly.
Catherine Blakemore, Erica Connolly, Pamela Bennett, Rich, and Christina.
I have less familiarity with Catherine, so I would interview her, but I don't feel strongly about it. If people don't feel we need to, I don't.
if we're treating the current commissioners
Yeah.
like the others in terms of, basically 2 or more people are interested in interviewing them, and we don't see that, then we don't need to interview them.
I think you're sort of in for a penny or in for a pound on this. I think you're either going to do all of them or none of them.
Okay. All right. And there's two votes of ambivalence.
I mean, you're distinguishing Christina because she's an officer, or an officer to be, or an officer. She's actually
right. I'm carving out an exception, which there is some discomfort for. Absolutely. Yeah. But we didn't have her on the list, so she wasn't really part of the tally. I don't think it came in late.
We didn't supplement her because she only applied her application a couple days ago.
So if Christian and Eric are ambivalent and feel that they don't need to interview, then I'm willing to go along with that. I think, yeah.
And I mean, this is a trial year. You can always modify for next year. Like, we could debrief at the end and think about what a protocol for next year is.
Yeah.
I don't think you're like
First
left
will be to turn this into a working group.
Okay. So then what I'm hearing is just the 6 interviews.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
So I have a couple of follow-up questions, logistical. I'm assuming Zoom, but did you want to do it in person?
Zoom's fine.
Okay. And then length. 15, 30, 45. I wouldn't go over 45.
No. 15.
I think 30.
15 to 30. I'm fine.
15, I agree, 15 to 30. And should all 3 of us be present for them?
Yeah, I'll be present because that's a quorum. You only 2 of the 3.
Right.
Well,
okay.
actually now, you know what? Oh man, I think I do need to ask Brady because 2 of 3 now is the majority. It used to work when it was 2 of 4.
Oh.
What is 2 of 3? Oh,
2 of
because
3 is the majority. So if you do 2 of 3, you have to notice.
Good grief.
Get ready.
But you can't do just 1, right?
No, I mean, that's not useful.
No.
This feels like it's now. I feel like at this stage, like we kind of need to reorient. When's the next commission meeting?
June. I mean, you have some time because you said you're all not going to finalize the recommendations until the August commission meeting.
Yeah, I hate to kick the can, but I think we should kick the can. I think we should replace Pamela on this committee.
Okay.
And I think then I think we should reconsider. I mean, just to be clear, we're not hiding anything, but there is like some discretion involved in the deliberation process. And it necessarily involves, you know, our assessment of candidates who are very much in earnest. I just don't think that really needs to be put on blast as a function of, you know, good governance or public right to know or anything like that. I mean, these people are all applying in earnest, and it just is unsavory to be saying, oh, I like, you know, his work at this job and her work at that job, but not this person's work. I mean, that level of evaluation is not necessary in a public forum.
Right. And we're not engaging in that thus far, which is, you know, think appropriate. So I think we can push it. I mean, I think we have a really good
well, we settled on the 6th, so now it's just a matter of like how do we structure it. So let me ask Brady, and then he'll send us all an email. But then I think what he's going to say, if you don't want to be subject to bag leaking, this committee's got to dissolve.
Maybe it does.
That's fine.
I mean, frankly, I was just trying to like, I thought two things. First, there was a usefulness to formalizing the process given the change from the Senate bill. And I thought like, we need to be more serious about our process of recruiting commissioners because we have a new responsibility under the Senate bill. So that was sort of my thinking. And then the second thing is that, you know, and I volunteered, number one, to sort of spread the burden, which has fallen sort of disproportionately on a smaller number of commissioners, including Kim, but also because, you know, I'm hoping to sort of find my, you know, like my replacements. Like we're doing this nomination process in large part to keep this commission fresh and innovative and thinking, and, you know, that's all part of the vitalization of a board of any kind, including this one. So, you know, I wanted to participate in that process, but I just think like we shouldn't rush into it. I think formalizing it as a committee was a mistake that I did not appreciate the consequences of.
Yeah, I mean, I really agree with all of that, you know, and I'm in view, I'm not continuing on. And so, but I feel you know, a commitment to trying to see that the commission is strong and diverse moving forward. So I think you can, Dwan, on behalf of us, talk to Brady and then let us know. And if we can dissolve or reform into another kind of group that can move forward with that would be helpful.
And you know, I still think we've done like an incredible job because we've never had this many applicants, and also the quality is really good too. So
I agree. But you know, Dwan, make no mistake, like the other part of this is, to me, is that staff is a really critical part of this partnership here, because the commission is, I mean, the work you're doing on behalf of commissioners, like you need active commissioners who are engaged and responsive. And so your opinion really matters. And, you know, I just think like, I agree, like it's great. It's great to keep the board vital with new blood and new thinking, et cetera, new experience. But there is some value to stability also. And I think like we have to weigh these things. You know, lots of new people creates new challenges.
Yeah.
Just how it is. But those challenges are worth it, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I just think it's tricky because of all like the various nominating bodies to coordinate that.
Right, and that's something that, I mean, I mentioned at our last meeting, which is it's something I think we really need to have a consistent message and let the appointing bodies know really what we need, and that it's a lot of work, and we need people who are able to carve out the time and make the commitment. So I mean, that's a big part of this going forward. It's not just what we do, but trying to somehow help bring a coordinated effort.
So in terms of next steps, let me talk to Brady and we'll send out an email to you all either this week or next week in terms of like what your options are. I think what he might say is if you do move to dissolve or we got to bring it back to the commission, which we still have time. We bring back some alternative to the commission in June. Right after that, in July, we can start interview and we could still be on track for August. So I think it'll still be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then we can still move forward and do the scheduling via email.
Right.
We know the 6 that we want.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is well, yeah, never mind.
Okay.
So I have one question, Duan, at the moment, probably more later, but do we know the timing of other appointments?
Yeah, so
the
the state bar one, they're going to meet in July to approve, but I'll have a sense like probably in June whether the board liaisons will agree with my recommendation. So we'll have a good sense. But it'll be before August when the commission decides. Judicial council, like we won't know until very late, even though you've already sent up your recommendations. Kim and Rich drafted a memo, and that's already going through. It already went through their executive committee, but their body needs to like approve it, and that doesn't happen until like August or September. It's very late. It's very close to the time where the changeover happens. And then with the legislature, we've been told that they're anxious to appoint, so it could be any day.
Okay.
And I want to know if they do appoint earlier than our natural term ends, the commission's gonna have to ask some people to vacate early.
Okay, so my question was really something different, which means I phrased my question incorrectly.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So for the candidates we have where they are applying for multiple commissions, can we somehow monitor if they're getting appointed to something else? And
yeah, we'll know in July.
All that. Oh, in July.
Yeah, so if that all happens, all the board appointments happen in the July meeting.
Okay.
So we'll know.
All right. Okay. So if we really want to scoop up certain people, should we be moving forward? I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Or vice versa, though, it's just as much. If there's somebody that it was sort of ambivalent about applying to this commission.
Impossible.
Well, Kim, come on now.
It's only 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, it's true. They chose something else. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's just part of the whole process, Okay. All right. So we have a plan. We lost Eric.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Everything was just happening so quickly with.
I think it's fine.
The numbers. I'm sorry. Okay.
I just, one other note is one of the things that I had some concern about was the client eligible members. And we had multiple applications, and I thought that was really heartening.
I thought it was great. So the one thing that we found that's a hole in the application doesn't have a direct question. So what we did was Shannon actually emailed everybody and asked them a question. Do you fall into this category, like these 3 buckets? Then you'll be client eligible. And then that's how we got the information. But so the way the statute is that, they're indigent, and then our business professions code lays out the 3. Kim and I were talking about this. A lot of people fell in that senior category. And not the below 200% for client eligible. So.
Well, but there was also a disabled applicant.
Yes.
And so to me, a 65-year-old attorney, I mean, I know they're client eligible, but they're an attorney member. So I didn't view that in quite the same way as somebody who's accessing legal services through either, through either of the other 2 arenas or avenues. But I do think that's a helpful question for the commission on the application.
No, we'll have to add it to the application. And I honestly, this application has been, I don't know how they figured it out in the years past without that question.
Well, but the client eligible members were, I don't know, I felt like there was a shoulder tapping.
Yeah, yeah, so it was very obvious, yeah, when an app, yeah.
You
But
know,
no,
I'm just thinking about Bob. I don't remember when Bob joined, but
yeah.
I mean, I sat on many of the interviews at various points,
Mhm.
but that one I did not. Hi, Selena.
Hey, Selena.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it was useful to read everyone's applications. I think under any circumstances, to me, I
Yeah.
thought it was a useful exercise, even if it is a little premature.
Well, and you raised a good point about the client eligible, because you all can, the commission can appoint the client. We don't have to wait until the natural term ends, because that one is replacing Bob's seat. So
Then that
Oh,
actually,
yes, that's, yeah.
yeah, that's an important
yeah,
fact.
Um,
But the commission has to do that?
the commission has, well, you're just making a recommendation to the commission. So the commission is the one that approves the appointment.
So we can't, though, serially meet, the three of us, Eric, Kim, and me, as part of this committee to discuss. Because see, my recommendation might be that the three of us have reviewed applications. And so a client eligible member replacing Bob could be on the June meeting
Mm-hmm.
agenda.
Yeah.
We could wipe that slot that can see off the board. And the commission could all be asked to review a candidate's application. If there's one candidate that the three of us agreed on, for example, and the commission could just say, yeah, we're going to take care of this one now. And then the committee's dissolved, et cetera.
so,
Working group.
yeah, so there is, when I look at these notes, the matrix notes, there is one person that we all agree on, and the person is client eligible.
Who can you?
Yeah, it's Patience Milrod.
But she's also like, she falls into the senior category, and she's a retired ED. So going back to what Chris just said, in terms of, there are three categories, but.
Right. She's
Yeah.
a former legal services program director,
Yeah.
and she's in a rural area. What more can I say?
Yeah.
I'm leaving. We need somebody from legal services.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. Yeah. I gotta, unfortunately, I left my notes at my home office. Otherwise, I might recommend an action today, but yeah, that's useful.
Well, do we want to move?
I don't think we need to decide it.
Okay.
as the-
Okay.
today.
Okay. So if you guys are all comfortable, that's in regrouping.
Plus
Yeah.
Eric's done, so.
Right. So
Okay.
we'll yeah, and we'll get, I mean, Dwan, we'll get your information after you speak with Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I think we're good for today then. No,
Okay.
no, actually, we don't need to vote on anything, so. it's
Right.
just-
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we may need to schedule something after
Yep.
you talk to Brady.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Never has so little been accomplished so much. We didn't do anything today, but we did a lot today. So I'm proud of that.
Well, we're learning as we go.
Yeah. No.
Process.
I'm like say that half in jest. I think it's actually true. I was, I think like reading all these applications was good too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we need to figure out our path after Dwan talks to
Yeah.
Brady, and then I think we're ready to go, actually.
Yeah. And
So-
Selena, Bonnie, we got a high volume of applications, which is the good news, and a lot of very qualified candidates. We had over 20 applications, so, yeah.
That's great. And I apologize for being late, but it occurred to me if you had questions about the JC process that I would be.
Oh, could you give us an update on timeline? We were just talking about that, and my guess was, I recall it was really late that we formally know, but
August, usually
Yeah.
late August. So, yeah, that's my best. But given that we have some crossover candidates, it's helpful to hear that because, we may have to change recommendations. depending on. And what's your timing?
July.
July? Okay.
No, August. August is when we're hoping to,
Oh.
the commission would vote on the recommendation.
Okay.
But we'll know the candidates. Like having interviewed them in July, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially interview in May, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, can you dissolve a committee?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. You can formally
Without a
dissolve
commission
without
action?
commission. That's a Brady question. I
Yeah,
don't.
that was concerned.
So
I
our
don't think so.
timeline's a little up in the air. Oh, Brady, Brady.
Oh wait, Brady's here. Great. Oh,
Hi,
Brady, we have a
Can you
big
s-
question for you.
can you see me? Or I guess I'm just I'm an webinar attendee. That's fine. I don't need to see myself. I'm in a hoodie. I wasn't planning on coming, so
Okay, sorry, Brady. There is
no problem.
a substantive question for you.
Sure.
If we wanted to model it after the way the board does it, because they have board liaison nominations, they don't have a
Mhm.
committee, then would we be, if we did it that way, we wouldn't be subject to Bagley-Keene and we can have discussion?
Yeah, so the way that they do it is, so I'm not positive whether they divide, I think that there's 2 board liaisons, and I'm not sure if they divide up the appointments and just do them individually, or if those 2 meet, but given that it's 2 and it's just advisory, then that wouldn't need to be public. But it would
Could
need
we
to be,
do 4 in advisory? Like, could this committee, I guess,
No.
convert into, no?
no, because, so that's the rule. So it's, if it's 3 or more, of any sort, created by the group itself, then it's Bagley-Keene subject, except, wait, am I saying this correctly? Advisory is fine if it's 2 or fewer. 2 basically.
Two.
But if any actual authority is delegated, then it doesn't matter the size. Even 2 people can't be delegated authority.
To do what? What is the authority for what, though?
Just being
Well,
subject to Bagley-Keene.
Delegated to make a decision rather than just a recommendation.
Well, this committee is never making a decision anyways. They were just gonna elevate the recommendation to the full commission.
Right. So that's why 2 is okay.
But 3 is not for the same thing?
Yeah.
Right.
So how does the board do it? There are 2 people that decide the applications for the board?
Yeah, they're liaisons.
Yeah.
But again, it's a recommendation that then the whole board decides on.
Okay.
Okay.
So the other question, Brady, if we did that, like 2, we would have to dissolve this committee, and then do we need formal action from the commission to dissolve this committee if they went in this direction?
Um,
Or can we just convert?
So how was this committee formed? We just had the commission pass a resolution to do it.
I don't even know if we did that.
I don't think the commission passed a formal resolution. Kim and Rich decided, and we presented it to the commission as this is what's going to happen, but they didn't vote.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, this was created
Yeah.
by the commission effectively. So, you know, I guess if there is no resolution made, there's no resolution to undo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, so the one exception is if staff puts together something, but that's always, I mean, it's a little bit of a workaround, and it's really for when staff comes up with the whole idea. You know what I'm saying? Whereas here, this is now us, a Bagley-Keene group deciding to create this new group. So, you know, we want to follow the rules.
So how you all want to proceed then? If it's just the liaisons, we would on 2. So only 2 of the 3.
Yeah, my recommendation would be that this drop to 2 and that we work with staff to, you know,
Mhm.
interview and
Make
a
recommendations to the commission. Yeah. Yeah. Eric, have you been kind of following our discussions?
Yes, generally I have, and I do apologize to everyone for.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just want to make sure
I
you
am back
understood
on.
where we're at.
Yeah, so,
Well, we're talking about the challenges of the public process.
right. So if we go down the path of being whatever you call them, liaisons or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And I guess according to what Brady just said, if we select 2 of us to do that, what does that mean? That we can split up the interviews? The interviews won't be subject to Bagley-Keene? Is that?
Well, the interviews won't be depending on the number, but this type of discussion, we don't have to Bagley-Keene it.
Yeah, that's important. That's good. Well, I mean, if the idea is to drop down to 2, if that's what we have to do to get down that path, I mean, I'm happy to withdraw if you 2 really want to do it. You're more experienced than I am on the commission. You have probably more wisdom to bear on it. I'm also happy to serve as well. So I'll just make that suggestion and offer.
I'll sleep on it. I mean, I would trust either, you know, both of you, Kim and Eric too. So, but you know, I feel the same. So I guess to me, like, we can decide that there was no formal commission action, so one of us could step back, etc.
And I don't have, Chris, you might want to stay on for it just because you're moving into the chair position. So that would be my only.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also willing to step away since I am stepping away from the commission. So it's just a matter of how the 3 of us feel comfortable, you know, and you know, staff's input is helpful too, I think, on this.
Yeah.
Cam, this is the end of an era, for me at least. You leaving, Vanessa leaving. What's next?
New people, fresh blood.
That's good. Right.
Who better want to put the time in?
Okay, should we just decide over email then? And then
Yeah, I think
I think
so.
once we decide, so we won't, Brayden, just confirming, we don't need to go back to the commission in June to like have the move to the liaison approach, and then we'll just schedule the interviews and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, as I recall, I didn't recall whether there was a resolution. It's not like the commission had a strong opinion, you know, made some statement about this. It's not, I don't think we're going back on anything that was said. And again, ultimately, they're going to be the final decision maker. So I would think that's fine.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Trevor, welcome.
Hi,
Okay.
Brady. Welcome. Thanks.
So
Nice to see you again.
That's right.
So now that Brady said that, let me and Brady do a sweep, make sure that our memory is correct and that there's no motion. And then we'll send out an email. And then how about Kim, Eric, and Chris, you all sit on it, sleep on it and think about whether you want to, if we move to the liaison, whether you want to step back or join. Okay, so we can do all that all through email.
Okay. All right.
We should have the pickiest people be the liaisons. I'm not sure who that is, but
No one's going to respond to that comment.
So any other questions for Brady? Or we're
I
good
don't
then,
think
right?
Yeah.
Can you see me, by the way, or am I
No, we cannot
No,
see you.
no, not at all.
wearing my A's hoodie? All right. Oh, there we go.
Okay,
All right. So I think we're finished.
We're
and we'll wait
finished.
to figure out what our next step is.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And
Okay, take care.
okay, bye.
Bye.